And we are back with segment 2 of the Remax Magnolia Realty Show with myself, Curtis Pope. And, of course, we have James here from Remax Magnolia and one of his clients, Chris James. So, gentlemen, we've been talking about the property that you live and work and play on, because it's a good chunk of property over by Better Mountain there. So, well, let's continue the chatter, because you obviously, have a great property there.
He absolutely does. I've spent a bunch of time there now, and, looking at the park, it looks like a park. It's got all these beautiful trees, all different, and sort of not just your average tree, just a hillside full of hardwood and all sorts of really cool trees hanging around, walnut and willows and things like this in there, and big old gardens. What do you grow in the gardens there, or what have you grown? I suppose.
Pretty much whatever you can grow, from your basic garlic, onions, salads, spinach, to cabbage, beets, radish, you name it. We've grown it.
So I guess those Costco runs we were talking about maybe aren't as needed, let's say, on
That's
a property
right.
like yours.
Over the last couple of years, we've kind of switched gears and tried to balance the high food costs by growing more of our own and preserving, canning.
Yeah, well, you have that canning room downstairs. That's just awesome. There's some pictures of that, and so you guys are good at preserving as well, then.
Not so much me. I eat most of it, but my wife Georgia, she does all the canning and preserving. So
yeah,
without that, I'd be sitting there starving.
I always remember my parents canning. They would buy like a couple of tunas or something, and they'd be canning for 3 days, and the whole house smelled like tuna.
My Oma used to can chicken.
Oh, really?
And here's the thing. My Oma used to make the best chicken noodle soup. None of the aunts could come close to it. My mom couldn't. And the only thing they could figure, they'd make the noodles the same. They'd make everything. The only difference was Oma used the canned chicken. So they think that was the key.
Really?
I don't know why, but
there you go, listeners.
Chicken.
Can your chickens.
Apparently. But that was just the way it was, right? Yeah. My Oma canned, everything. She made, it was a berry farm and everything. So there was tons of strawberry jam, raspberry jam, everything. So there was always lots of preserves.
Oh yeah,
on the farm.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna have a large space to garden, you want to be able to preserve it somehow. Like, freezing only lasts so long, but like if you want to get over the winter with your vegetables, you basically have to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And so do you find that your grocery bill is cut compared to families the same size that you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like come I would say come May, June, we buy very little produce up until, I would say in the middle of winter, when we start kind of running out if we didn't prepare enough. But it definitely helps out a lot.
Yeah, and it's not that tough to grow, is it? I mean, pick the weeds and...
That's right.
Yeah.
Give them some water and some sunlight, and away you go.
And there's a greenhouse on the property too. What have you done with that one?
Yeah, so normally we'll throw our tomatoes and peppers and things like that in there, and then everything else goes out in the front garden there.
But it's not just about saving money, right? Like,
it's more about basically knowing what you eat.
Yeah.
And with all the uncertainty nowadays, and I guess trying to eat more local and keep the budget down, and like I said, knowing what you're eating and how it's been raised.
Yeah.
And giving something an ethical lifestyle if in terms of animals.
Indeed, yeah. Your animals live like kings there, queens, I should say.
Well, and a king.
Yeah, and one king, yeah. Being able to roam free and not just like pushed into a small paddock, only almost the size of themselves. And that must be nice to know that your family gets to eat that too, right? Like, they get to grow up on, non-GMO'd this and that, and while everybody else is boasting about oh, we don't use, antibiotics or anything. You literally have the real thing in your freezer at all times. But you must get sick of beef now and again.
Every once in a while, and then we'd switch it up to pork, or we do. We normally do about 100 chickens a year. You
have
we
chickens
raise,
too.
So,
Yeah. Chickens and eggs. I mean, I love the idea. Like I struggle to grow green onions in my garden. That's like the one thing my garden will actually grow, because I don't spend enough time on it really, and my wife doesn't really like gardening that much either. So I guess this is why we live in the city.
I don't have much of a green thumb either, and I come from a farming family, and I don't have the ability. Like, it stopped at my mom, apparently.
Yeah, I know. My mom loved to can and garden, and I learned a lot from her, but those things weren't it. So Chris, you're moving from this place.
Yeah.
Now I'm shocked. Because
Which is amazing, because you're his realtor.
Yeah. You're right.
What? You're moving?
Well, no. After I seen the place, why the heck would you want to move away from a place like this? What prompted that? Like, you live in such a gorgeous location with everything laid out perfectly. What prompts you to want to go out from there?
I don't know if it's just the mentality of greed, always wanting bigger and better, but it's I'm looking to start raising my cattle to larger numbers and kind of switching careers, I guess. Whether it's a midlife, early crisis, I don't know.
Yeah,
but,
maybe.
Watched one too many episodes of Yellowstone. He wants to
Well,
be a big cattle.
you know what? That didn't help.
You're a Dutton. You can live out your Dutton
that's
moments, right?
Yeah. So.
And whereabouts are you moving to?
We're moving up towards Rock Creek.
Oh, gorgeous.
So we've got quite a bit larger of an acreage there that we purchased.
So you want better weather, is what you're saying?
Well, that was a big deciding factor. Yeah, I was getting sick of the rain.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. Oh no, I actually, on a day like today, I don't mind so much the rain.
Yeah.
But but so like having a larger herd, having a larger land, and so you use this as sort of your leaping board into actual ranching, right?
That's right.
This was like a
test run,
a play ranch.
Yeah.
Did you ever have horses in the big horse barn?
Yeah, in the beginning when we bought the property, there were horses, and it's something I would have loved to bring back, but it just never got there.
You can only do so much.
Yeah.
You do so much on this place, but the property actually has one of the most beautiful horse barns I've ever seen, with the brick and the plank flooring, and the beautiful stalls, and the outside little paddocks as well. So you had a few horses boarding there?
Yeah, we had I think we had 3 in the beginning that were there for about a year.
And do you use the hayloft to feed the cattle now?
Well, no, I use round bales, so
okay.
it's everything gets stored outside. But in the beginning, when we had the horses, it was used for the hay storage then.
Yeah, that barn is pretty incredible.
Stacking hay bales, now that's a workout.
That's
I
right.
love that job. I hearken back to that, and I grew up on a farm as well, and so me and Richard, we would huck bales all day long for what seemed like 12 hours. It was probably more like 5 or 6, but it seemed like all day hucking bales, and then we just lay back in the grass at the end of the day. And we were too young to drink beer, and so
Soda pops it was.
we never did. It was soda pops.
Yeah, of course it was.
Yes, it was.
I've been there myself. I know there's something about throwing those hay bales, though. And there's something almost therapeutic about it. It's weird.
It's so true. Yeah, I would love to do it right now if I could.
Don't say that. There's
Any farmers listening?
Gonna go YouTube.
Any farmers listening this morning, that was not an invitation to treat.
So Curtis and James, we'd like you over here at about 9:30.
It's right.
Would be God's into.
Exactly. So your place is for sale, as we know. Let's talk a little bit about this property, because I want to show people that there are properties like this. Like let's walk them through it a bit. You have 2 gates So the main property is completely fenced, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then how many acres is down low, kind of where you do your operations from?
So right down at the bottom, we're around like 4.5 acres.
Yeah, and then you've got this beautiful house. It's 4,100 square feet, metal roof, which I love here. That roof is not going to go anywhere. That's a beautiful home. Walking into that place, you had renovated this home when you first bought it, yeah?
Yeah, we pretty much did everything to it on the inside, from updating flooring to completely changing rooms, adding rooms, you name it.
And the finishing the basement. I know I saw some of the pictures from before you bought it, and the upstairs felt like Santa Fe had gotten a little too out of hand.
That's right.
And you had tamed the Santa Fe while still keeping that rancher charm to the place. Updated the house, and so I love what you've done there. You've got a beautiful deck that has that view of Sumas Prairie. How often do you get to actually sit there and enjoy that?
Not enough. I work too much there, so I don't get to use it as much as what the kids do. But
Georgia must have a time or two up there waiting for you to come home. Yeah, of course. And so, and then the fire pits out back. I'm sure you've had a get together or two around that.
We've had a couple good barbecues out there with friends and family.
And your lone goldfish. I always feel like it's there was a pot full of water that we changed out, and suddenly a goldfish arrived in this thing, and he's been around a little while.
He makes it through the winter freeze and
somehow I don't know how that goldfish makes it, but he's loving life there. And then you walk down these beautiful pathways. Now, did you pour the cement for that, or did you?
Yeah. So we had them all poured, and the driveway's all asphalted, and
I mean the infrastructure on the place. It feels like you're at an actual park. Like Curtis, you haven't been there, but this is like this place you walk onto, and you're like, oh, Stanley Park just did some renovations.
Gotcha.
And we've called it of a home. And walking down to the barn, you got four horse stalls to either board horses or have them yourself. Some small outdoor paddocks. Where would a horse graze?
Well, we've got one field out in the front yard when you first drive up that you can use, or we've got another one in behind the shop, or you let them graze up the mountain.
Have you had horses up the mountain?
Me personally, no, but the guy that I had purchased off of, he used to let his horses up there, and he'd do trail rides and.
Cool.
Yeah,
I mean that would be an awesome place to trail ride. I mean, it would be a lot better than hiking up it.
So have you shown this listing to the boss lady? I mean, she needs a place for her new horses.
She's been there. She brought her horse in for a photo shoot.
Yeah.
So that we could show the people what the place looks like with a horse.
Okay. I was going to say, you might be able to make a quick turnaround on this. Is there room for Richard to store the cars? Obviously.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, speaking of storing cars, that shop, I mean, how many classic cars could you put in this place?
I would say easy 30 to 40, maybe.
Yeah.
More.
Oh, and he's got lots of room to expand the collection.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, if it's classic cars you're into, the shop has these huge tall ceilings. I think you said 19 at the edge and about 30 at the peak. You're using it for a fabrication shop, so you have a 600 amp service in there, and I mean you're running a lot of different equipment inside of that thing. But one could use it for what a trucking company, because you can drive right through.
Yeah,
you could drive right through. Is it semi-sized door on the front as well?
Yeah, you could fit a full-size truck through there.
So yeah, if you have a trucking company, something like that, a person could use it to work on and store their semis, or if you were just the kind of person who has 30 classic cars and needs a place to show them off, You could park them all there and light them up. But that shop isn't just a boring old workshop that Bob has in the back of his yard. This actually has like a reception desk. It's got the boss's office and lunch rooms. And what else has it got up there on that mezzanine?
Well, it's got a large storage mezzanine, and like you said, it's got the lunchroom for your employees with a full small kitchen in there, and then your main office.
Yeah, wow. What's your favorite part about living there?
I think my favorite part was just I never had a commute. In the morning, my longest commute was if one of the animals got out, I had to wrangle them back in. But it was always something that I knew. I'm up at this time. I'm in the shop at this time, and you get stuff done, and you make the money. And when you're done, your family's right there, and you go straight to it. You're not stuck in traffic for an hour a day or even more.
Agreed. Yeah, we all know what that's like.
Absolutely.
I used to commute as well. You, Curtis?
I've commuted a time or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. No, I know that. What it's like. It's not fun.
Exactly.
Well, I guess we're probably getting time to wrap up the show here. So what are our final thoughts here?
Well, final thoughts are, if you want actual visual confirmation of what this place looks like, I want you to go to jamesminchau.com. That's James, MINCHAU.com. And scroll down to the bottom. You're going to see a listing on 41056 Belrose Road. And click on that. We've got a ton of media for you to look at, including pictures and video. If you have a realtor, they can actually pull up the floor plans for you. You can see this place in all of its glory. And take a look if you know of somebody who's looking for this specific kind of a ranch / business / beautiful home / park / I can just keep slashing all day. Tell them about it. Because then you'll get to visit it too.
Perfect.
Right?
Sounds like a plan. All right. Well, if people want more information about this or other listings, obviously, they can go to your website, or they can also go to the Remax Magnolia website.
That is at remaxmagnoliarealty.com.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in and sharing your property with us, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah. Appreciate it.
And join us again next week when we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on a show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.